gas, my whole crew I help with. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, build a snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control. On the gas, my whole crew I help with. I want mine in cash, want it all, I'm selfish. Never gave a fuck, I'm bad, I cannot help this. Caught up in my ways, counting days till I'm fucking out this. Whoa, roll up 20 deep, little homie, build a snap. Like whoa, put 100 down and put us on the map. Like whoa, y'all ain't even know the place I had to go. In my soul, lost a part of me, but I won't lose control.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? Here we are again for the African Mobile Championship new matches. I am Igor LaneX, as you guys know, and I'm gonna be here today joined by my friend from England, my friend Connie Casts, who's gonna be casting with me and bringing his perspectives and singular objections and of course compliments to the players and teams on this very round number one for sure. Connie, how are you doing, man? What's up?
Fantastic, Igor. Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to actually experience a sort of new system, a new region of Call of Duty Mobile. And definitely exciting. I think it's sort of uncharted territory for us because, in a sense, we're pioneering what is going to be something special. All right, we're really looking into new players, new rosters, new teams which can compete in a global level. I think when you look at a larger picture here, Igor, very, very exciting overall. But again, I'm more interested to see just what it's all about and get my first real taste of some African Call of Duty Mobile.
Yeah, awesome. Yes, man, definitely. New teams, new players, as you said, right? So it's going to be very exciting to see what kind of creative solutions they bring to the game, what kind of gameplay, game style they're going to showcase to us. And I have just to correct myself quickly. We're talking about today the lower bracket round one. I'm going to show you all the brackets. We're going to be having the chance of looking into the way that these teams are taking so far. I just want to talk quickly talk to my Brazilian friends and fans and followers who are here also waiting for me to be speaking in Portuguese. Maybe some of them are not understanding anything we're talking here. So I'm going to turn into Portuguese, galera. Tudo bem com vocês? Salve, salve, rapaziada. Estamos aqui então para cobrir aí mais um dia, né, da nossa Copa Africana. Ontem eu fiz a reação, como vocês sabem, e hoje é dia da gente fazer aqui a nossa cobertura em inglês, como eu tinha falado nas redes sociais, da etapa exatamente de partidas dos derrotados, né, a lower bracket aqui, que vai rolar em instantes. Rage contra a equipe da Ace Matrix, tá bom? Eu vou voltar pro inglês e eu peço que vocês tenham paciência. A live de hoje é toda em inglês, para falar a verdade. Connie, so getting back to English, we're gonna be seeing today, and I'm gonna be showing now the brackets at the stream. Everybody who's watching us is gonna be able to see that this is going to be the West brackets. So far we have had 4 matches, and 2 of them, they were kind of, let's say, one-sided. Ace, Gen, they have beaten Commission for 3 new on maps, as much as Complex against Ace Matrix, 3 new, and also on the side of that we've had 2 very balanced games. So yesterday I watch partied in Portuguese-English Ace Pharaoh against Rage, 3-2 on maps, and then also Defiance against Originals was a game with the result of 3-2 maps. So we're gonna be seeing basically now the matches, man, which involve the losing teams. So let's see how they're gonna play out this one, right? We're talking about Commission, Originals, Ace Matrix, and Rage Gaming. What do you expect for the African scene, my friend Connie?
I think one of the more interesting sort of concepts you have to explore first, Igor, is the state of play and the state of the bracket itself. We are, of course, in the lower portion, which is definitely alarm bells if you're a team falling into the first round. You could be going home straight away and not win a single match in the African Mobile COD Championship, which, you know, is always going to be the scariest perspective. But I think when we are also diving into other elements, the mentality factor in this portion of the bracket also requires lots of positive mental attitude just for the teams to have a high morale and keep competing. I think the teams having closer matches, that Rage Gaming one and the Originals, they're going to have, I'd say, a bit more of a relaxed, laissez-faire approach in the lower bracket because they've been to 5 maps. They've probably expanded the map pool, even facing the better teams, and maybe lost some closer series. But with Commission and Ace Matrix, they're really going to have to revert back to the basics here. Play it well and potentially take it to a new height.
Yeah, they're gonna have to reinvent themselves. I totally agree with you. Especially Rage Gaming. Yesterday, playing on the iPad, it is very crucial to emphasize that. They are iPad players so far, Rage Gaming, trying to make their way into the competitive scene. But again, they had a very long game, a very long match against, as we have seen, the Ace Pharaoh team. Was a beginning of 2 new men, and then they were reversed with Ace Pharaoh managing to overcome. So it was a great match that I had the chance to react to. And as you said, it's going to be the chance to see some teams with a more diversified map pool, perhaps. They're going to have to be creative on that, try to surprise the opponents, and that's gonna be the moment for us to talk about the drafts. Let's just show the maps and modes for this best of 5 map series that we're gonna have in some minutes between Rage and Ace. We are seeing already here on the stream, and I'm gonna have to help Connie because of the delay, but anyways, it's just some seconds of delays. Hardpoint on Summit, it's always a fantastic beginning, being followed by a Search and Destroy on Standoff and Control on Arsenal. So 2 new combinations of maps and modes here, Connie, on this first round.
Yeah, very exciting. I think, of course, having my mind taken back to February, watching some at Hardpoint for Challenge Finals was always an exciting watch, and definitely one to really sink your teeth into as a spectator and as a player, because it's so fast, it's so aggressive. You really put a lot of value on your close quarters engagements, the shotgun players. I think what it also sets up as well for Igor is another sort of realm of look. And that is really what is the African scene going to provide for us in terms of compositions, metas, and general picks. That really is the more exciting element that is still yet to be scratched on the surface. And as we progress more throughout the tournament, we'll start to see some key patterns and themes in terms of what the set meta is. Because region to region, it changes drastically. We see over in the Asian regions, especially favored on the shotguns and sniper rifles, whereas Europe, North America is more AR based, and even so in South America and some portions there. I'm quite keen because Summit only opens up a small looking glass. It's very, very quick. It's very difficult to have a long range battle and win. That's why for the first map you get really excited from that perspective.
Yes, yes, as you said, the meta changing from place to place. I'm very, very excited as well to see how this is gonna play out, as we have already. The first map, ladies and gentlemen, my friends from my channel, let's hop into this Summit Hardpoint. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's hope that the match is gonna begin. Yes, all the 10 players are moving ahead to the first hill, as we know, P1 already being searched for by both sides. So thank you all a lot for staying with us. I'm doing everything today, guys. I'm streaming, changing the camera views, and also casting with my friend Connie Cast, so it's gonna be a little bit challenging. But thanks for the patience. Thank you again for sticking with us. And we see first hill very balanced so far, Connie, with a slight edge on the side of Rage, already dominating some key positions and trying to, of course, to lock the spot for themselves.
They're doing so well, especially in the close quarters engagements, which is a key win condition early on. Having the confidence to take these fights with minimal repercussions really is going to benefit Rage. And what is interesting as well, playing the smokes at close quarters, it is opening room now for Ace actually to aggress onto the site. But look at the spawns right now. The first drill split will come in. It's a great pinch opportunity, especially given just what needs to be done. And Hustle's position is so important, particularly in taking the fights.
Yeah, you need to search, you need to lock spots, as we see both sides moving into the second hill. We're talking about a 41 versus 8, so thank you all, my friends. Hit the like button, share the stream. This is LaneX speaking in English along with Connie Casts, and let's see what's gonna happen along these teams and these matches. We're gonna see this best of 5 series maybe being the long one, since Rage they already showed this standard yesterday. But we see now the kill feed all on the side of Ace. They are trying for this retake over here, Connie. Let's see what's gonna happen. They finally invade. I don't know if they're gonna be able to stay at this position, because there it is, Rage also delivering back the bullets, so they still keep this 50 points advantage.
Yeah, and bear in mind as well,
Wow.
3 operators are now in play with a 50-point margin on this hill. Scrap time will only be contested by 1 player from Ace, and it will be only 1 for the smallest of margins here, because you have to think from macro perspective just what needs to be done here for Ace. A large gap and minimal economy cycling on these operators, on these specialists. It can cause a bit of friction, especially given now that we're just sort of seeing a set play and a game plan from Rage. They want to get all 5 online and really limit a range of motion or an extension of the arm that Ace might have up their sleeve.
Yeah, and they are being brutal, as you said. The operators totally coming to the favor of Rage. They are beginning to use some of them, locking the P3 again, also dominating initially, at least, the respawn positioning, but now they have kind of lost. Maybe Ace are gonna try to come for a retake on this spot over here, as we see Chile trying to, of course, fight in the middle of the hill itself. Hustle is already rotating, and I don't see Ace trying to think about P4. They still want to fight for the third hill over here. That's a very interesting call, very risky call to be fair, but they know that they need to fight for all the possible points, Connie. They cannot spare, they cannot just go for the next one and just let Rage keep their own free ride.
Definitely tees up a realistic perspective right now for Ace. The mentality should be the complete opposite rather than play for scrap time. It should be setting up initial, playing for 40 seconds on the brand new hills, because this gap now is starting to really become out of arm's reach, and Rage are just playing some fantastic Call of Duty. As well as that, they really are being patient with the specialists and playing very static. Risky in a sense, only by a margin of which you'd probably look at the scoreline a little differently. But the way the fights are going, there's a lot more speed in Ace's back pocket. But realistically, this is a wonderful and punishing setup. And the way Ace are managing to pinch, it's distraction. Look in the back, only really can that kill be isolated. And can now we see a hill turn wonderfully the shade of blue they need.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's so great to see Ace getting back on track. They are finally invading the hill. We see 50 points. Now an equalizer on the hands of Venom. 2 eliminations, he was doing well. And then he was taken down for Rage, having this chance of using, again, some of these lane positionings. We see, again, they are marching to the 150 points. So we are talking about Rage actually feeling the growth of Ace, but not totally, falling to their pressure, as we can see that they are already trying to hop into the first hill again to be strong, to begin this rotation of flags in a better and upper hand position against Ace. And it's very crazy to see, Connie, that even though Rage has been using a lot of operators, they still got a lot more to use. So these guys are absolutely brutal today when it comes to killing.
Fitting of their name, right, Igor? Rage against the machine. You definitely pin it one way rather than just the anger sort of state that Rage are employing. It's more controlled chaos rather than the latter. And it's beautiful use of the operators. This annihilator here that Nemo's has acquired is just going to isolate the kills even further with a beautiful setup where really you could extend to maybe Marshall on the outer extremity. The hill, though, in terms of state of play, has been widely contested now. And this really is where the playbook is starting to expand more for Ace Matrix, and definitely the correct play needs to be made because this gap is still at 100 points.
Yeah, they're gonna try to keep coming back on this game. It's still possible. Let's remember that we're still beginning the second rotation, so Ace are gonna do their best to, of course, acquire and collect some points against Rage. We see now Venom locking this spot. Very nice work. They are already beginning to make their road to the second hill again. We have Hustle coming to the up and again trying to dominate the staircase. He was taken down though by Demon on the side of Rage, who are marching to the 160 points, but we can also say that the first rotation was, of course, more to the side of Rage, but then they kind of slapped a little bit right on the table or on the couch, and then they could see Ace, bringing some bullets, bringing some danger level, and now things are gonna be looking more equalized, Connie, but we're just seeing like a vortex inside of the hill. Nice work by Ace, trying to regroup and like to move together in a better way, right?
Of course, and the main thing here for Ace is dodging the specialist at this point. I mean,
yeah.
It's great to have these fights on the hill and keep it contested, because what it's now doing is it's really offsetting the timing and pacing that makes Rage so punishing in the head-to-head fights. But they've also got a chance here as well to really cycle through the specialists. I mean, you got 3 now on the board for Ace, and really, from the start of this hill, they had none, Igor.
Yes. You're right. I mean, so this is the turning point for Ace if they ever want to use this window to reverse and get back on Hardpoint Summit. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends who are here with us, keep sharing the stream and let's, bring all the community to watch these talented African boys. These lads are doing the best they can, as we try to see now Chile trying to come inside of the point with the Sparrow. He was taken down. We have a claw in the hands of Marshall. He's becoming to resemble Mihawk from Brazil, using this claw and being very deadly, to be fair, right here, Connie. It was a first nice and initial push by Rage, but then as we see Ace are coming back, they're getting back on track, they're managing to retake some positions, and the game, I don't know, it's still kind of opened. I would say, Connie, that, I mean, unless Rage already locks the 200 points, we're still going to be talking about a very even match.
And we're seeing some interesting flank plays as well, really being exercised from Rage. I saw Demon there in the final kill try and make a pinch and at least keep scrap time away, because yes, this is really where you bear the fruits of your labor. If you are Ace Matrix, you can acquire scrap time and keep the large portion of the initial hills contested, because now you are getting more comfortable in head-to-head fights and rotation. You're keeping the hills very scrappy, and as Igor mentions, it's not the correct system, especially when you want to get time back in the game. But this new rotation, again, it's always going to be locked down early on by Rage.
Yeah, Rage are trying to lock in not only the respawn, but the heal itself as they move to 200 points. And that's gonna be the final sprint for both sides, and especially on the side of Ace, we're gonna have to do more. Let's see what they're still able to bring to the table over here. Reminding you guys that this is just the first map out of a best of 5 maps series, which is beginning right now, so it's a very interesting run for both teams. And I should say also that yesterday, Connie, we had Rage, suffering a lot against the other line from Ace. But again, Rage was a team that have won the first hardpoint, so everything here is working as predicted. Rage, usually they are very strong on the hardpoints, so they are doing their homework, and Ace, they're gonna have trouble, but they are doing well as well. We can say that they are dominating the rest of this P4, and they're gonna have to march to the next hill, man.
The spawns there on the north side here for Ace, so they're going to have more foot room on the new hill, and even plenty of time to pull out a shotgun or a switchblade if need be. But these exit kills through tight choke points are really keeping Rage Gaming at bay here. And they're rotating well. Just a few shaky shots, though, are really creeping through, because the pressure is surmounting now to a point where we will see Rage realistically close it out. It's 10 seconds left, an all-blue kill feed. North side spawns coming in for Ace. Not the best perspective to have. And one last final hit on the hill can only really be the last table order. But there you have it. Map 1 in the books. Rage Gaming take it 250 to 159.
Oh yeah, that was a nice beginning by them. What a start, and as you said, now looking very, very bright for Ace Matrix, who were dominated not only by the presence of the Rage players, but also by the usage of the operators itself. They were combined, to be fair, Connie, totally killing, annihilating, to be fair, any possibilities of Ace getting back to this map. As we see the final scores, nice job by Marshall with 40 kills, so I would say a very high level of damage caused inflicted by Rage players, but we cannot say the same to Ace, right? They suffered a little bit on the trades. They were trying to divide the OBJ responsibility between Xia and Chile, but that's it. They did not manage to do more than that, man.
I think as well, when you're really highlighting metrics, those 21 assists from Lion, very impressive. That's more playing support to Marshall and Nemo, who are the main slayers on the team. So their system, like you said, is definitely more complete. It's a well-rounded fortress they have, especially the way they were taking the hard points. They were getting hill payoffs every other hill, and the only real scaling deficit where we did see Ace have a good look was keeping the hills contested. But again, that's only warranted if they can keep most of the players alive.
Yes, you're gonna depend on that, as you said, and I'm here to emphasize again, Marshall with 40 kills, dash 24, so it was a nice performance on his side. Overall, the Rage players did not die that much. They were, I would say, very resistant guys. As we get back to our camera here, folks, to keep talking to you. This is me, Igor LaneX, and my hair now is a little bit more masked because I was casting with energy.
No, it's beautiful, Igor. What do you mean? It's a wonderful look.
Thanks, my man. And also, of course, guys, Connie Casts coming here to our channel to, help me with this cast, and of course, be my partner on this English casting that I'm doing here.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, it's been awesome to be with you, Connie. Surely another school of casting, the British casting guys, and I'm learning to, to cast better with these guys. Chris, Connie, and Brody.
Don't put yourself down. You're a wonderful caster, especially in your second language. This is no easy feat, but everything is absolutely perfect from my end to you. And the sort of joy we have as well, being casters on Codmobile, is we get to see regions develop. This is why the Africa Mobile Championship is so gorgeous. It's going to have development, it's going to have exciting moments, and we're going to see new meta potentially spawning. So this is definitely something we're going to pioneer and definitely show off more often.
Yes, I'm excited to see how this Search and Destroy is gonna come ahead. Also, Connie, as we are already waiting for the players, so it's gonna be very cool to see how they're gonna play this one out. So let's call Ace actually Matrix to not make confusions with the other lines of Ace. The guys were telling me that we can call them just Matrix. Okay, so they're gonna be the Matrix dodging the bullets.
Matrix.
I like that, right?
I like that, you know. You
It's not a bad. I have seen the movie, but I mean, if you ask me, okay, did you understand everything in the movie? Not that much, no. I was for the action there, you know. But cool. So let's take another chance, Connie, to just, you know, have a clue about the draft again. I just want to emphasize that now we're gonna go into standoff, search and destroy. And again, we're gonna have to see how the teams are gonna play in these new combinations. Okay, so Arsenal control and then a potential second hard point on Hackney Yard. Hackney Yard has not been in the rotation forever, and I'm very, very, very excited to see this one happening. As I am, of course, for an eventual Tunisia bomb mode. But what do you think about these maps, man?
Well, obviously with Standoff being a classic in Call of Duty and a mainstay for many years, it's interesting in 5v5 it being so fluid and so quick. I think this is a map that warrants lots of communication because it is 3 lanes, it's open range, and sniper rifles through to mid-cross do have the most impact on first blood potential. Now, when it comes to grouping and players, you really look towards utility usage at the start, and nading off spawn being quite a key element here. And I think some of the slip-ups that we do see across all tiers of Call of Duty Mobile is your nade placement and your timing of that, because you could either throw off spawn and maybe get 2 bloods if you're lucky, or throw them and get no information and then you're going into a retake situation, or map control with no utility, which is always risky, right, Igor? Then we'd also dive into other elements. Hackney Yard, you briefly mentioned there.
Yeah,
I had the joy in Modern Warfare of watching that map, and let me just say, good luck on P2, my friend. That is a money hill. That's a money hill and a half. So you're going to have to really explore that more when we see it in the systems.
I mean, yeah, man, you just brought some very, very interesting topics as we still see the map pool. I'm gonna, you know, guys, head back to our cameras because I'm sure that you guys think that we are, you know, more handsome than the maps itself. It's enough of showing the map, so let's just show ourselves back again. Me and Connie. And Connie, I agree with you, man. I think that standoff has a lot to do with the grenades. So the nade work totally can enable you or disable you in a round, and I'm very excited to see that happen. Let's just hop into the map because the game is beginning. But yes, it's very, very cool, right? To see some very strategical spots, just like, for example, the tanks, the core positionings close to the fountain. So whenever you manage to throw a nade, you can just be ahead. You don't need to think much more ahead on that. And I'm excited to see how things are gonna grow surely now with this new design of standoff. What do you think, Connie? We seem to have like a different, more of a Counter-Strike standoff, if you allow me.
Yeah, so this standoff resembles the Cold War standoff that we got injected in the second portion of the regular Call of Duty season. Although the design is beautiful, it won't impact gameplay all too much. We're still going to have the same car bombs, we're still going to have the same lanes of control, and the same set A take again, Igor. It's always going to be a key theme, especially when the first bloods are on the line. That's why we do see the first trade at least equalize numbers now into a potential 4v4, although we are seeing Rage take more control off the rip.
Yes, Rage taking control as we see now. Bailey's with the C4 in his hands. 3 players to try to plant this one, but he was taken down quickly by Hustle, meaning that we're gonna have a 2v2. Hustle double elimination. What a pair of kills by this guy against Team Hall. Nice work over here. Lion's gonna be the last one alive. He's moving with the Growl, coming to the middle of the map, and then Kraken just brings him to a certain death. Of course, updating the score to a 1-0. Such a nice work by both sides. And Connie, Rage, they dominated the bomb, as you said, but Ace, they were better on the tradings.
It was a 3v3, right? They equalized it to even numbers, and they had a player stuck on the site. The biggest problem, though, again, was equalizing the trades. As we do see the map again, all utility is invested onto A, just heavy nades, and a commitment to try and get that first blood. We see it so frequently on standoff, and the game state hasn't changed a single bit. Despite a map renovation, the same gameplay will always be a factor. But with Kraken, especially in this 1-to-1 position, can get the mid-cross, can watch over sight. But we are seeing a nice adjustment because Matrix have played the numbers well, and the utility investment paid off more for them. And rather Kraken here in this spot, Igor, is only really playing for consolation kills.
Yeah, and Marshall bringing him to the ground. Interesting response on the side of Rage over here. Maybe, putting more pieces, investing more into a, as you said, usually the most traditionally searched bomb site in the game forever and ever, and that's not gonna change, even though you can bring some different skins to the maps, and especially to standoff. We see again an investment on A. Teams are not patient. If there's something you should learn from the African gameplay on CodeM, is that these guys, they do not hold. On search and destroy, they just go onwards. They just search for the fights, they're not patient. They just go for the gunfights themselves. And we see the Rage has already 3 players versus 2. They got the C4. Let's see what's gonna roll. Again, another nade on the air.
Still though, it's only really going to be another 1v4 situation. Realistically, you can't really put all the pressure on Kraken here. In a retake situation, again, you've got to clear 2 angles. This mid-cross is devastating in a 3-person setup because the numbers are always going to be a factor, especially given Ray's general set play, Igor.
Yes, and now he's gonna be pretty much, of course, cautious. He has to be overcautious because, as you said, the numbers playing on the side of Rage, who already have a bomb to the ground. 3v1, and Kraken's gonna have to play this one slowly, nice and slowly, to try to get close and take one by one. Let's see what he can do for the first one against Lion. Nice pick by Kraken to take the first opponent to the ground. Now rotating and playing with the mindset and expectations from Rage. Nice work, but Demon was on his side. And there it is. Just like that, we see Rage, dominating and coming to the best positioning on the scoreboard. 2-1. Connie, these teams do not know, or they do not want to play B so far, or mid.
Yeah, and 3 attacking rounds 1 as well, to mention, Igor. Although different from this round to last, as trophy systems are now going to impact the anti-flash setup, in which we want to see Matrix install early on, because Rage already have committed numbers so heavily towards Tractor. It can be an easy push, but Kraken's got a wonderful line, but that's a necessary position you need to hold, because again, now that control's given up, trades will go either way, but the 4v2 will always be the end result here, and now we can just see, in essence, a devastating setup that Rage wants to employ. One, the south side of the map, trying to catch the lurking player in a 1v1 situation, and all alone again, it's just Switch in this spot rather than Kraken.
Yes, exactly. And Switch is going to be the alive play this time. So they keep rotating the clutchers, and that's not going to help Matrix along the map. It may be occasionally helping them, inside of one round or the other, but not in an overall picture. We see Switch coming closer to the middle of the map, and Nimhos takes him down, and 3-1 for Rage, meaning that these guys, they finally found their pace. They finally are more confident to be playing on the attacking side and not making changes on their decisions, Connie. Always favoring the A, and then potentially now they're going to be running to the B, which is a very nice option because the only player to defend B is going to be Hustle so far.
It's very nice to see that Chapter 2 in the playbook for Rage Gaming is actually a big execute. And a wonderful cross, but Hustle can only hold position for so long. This is a very easy isolated kill to find if you are Rage. And again, the key theme here is the first blood going the same way their side as well, 4v3.
Yes, interesting decision by Rage. Of course, taking the defendant, as I said, Hustle was on market, or yellow as you call, but he was taken down. And now Ace, Matrix, they're not be alive anymore because Rage, they managed to accumulate rounds. So it's been a nice run for them so far before the flip. 4-1, such a fantastic work, and especially a teamwork, right? We see the kills very much widespread among the players, with the exception of Damon, who's holding 6 eliminations, and Nimhos has 9 kills on his side.
A fun question to ask, Igor, is exactly how are Rage going to set up for future rounds? Because they've already won the head-to-head fights and the heavy contested quarters over on A so often, that maybe it would rely more on an adjustment on Matrix's side to just keep more numbers alive off the rip and play a retake. Confidence plays a huge factor in that decision.
Yes, confidence gonna play a huge role on this occasion, because we see that Matrix, they're gonna have to do a lot more, especially on the second half. Now a 3v2, fastly changing. These teams are not pacing, they're just going for it, and I love to see it. That's the aggression we expect to see on a nice community competition as this one, and Kraken is going to be the last one alive. Again, taken down by Marshall. So there it is, 5-1. in what became already a rollout, like a ride by Rage. They're trying to repeat whatever they did on Hardpoint Con, if you agree, now on Search and Destroy, not allowing a Matrix to wake up and get back to track.
It also opens a really wide question, particularly as to how African Search and Destroy is played. And I'm not really seeing much shotgun usage off the rip. It really is just heavy nades and ARs, which is quite easy replicated across all regions. But when it comes to the trades, Rage Gaming have basically built this meta. There has been a moment really where they've been out of control in numbers, and they've really equalized these 4v2, 3v situations to a great extent. But now it's really just spread plays. That bomb is not in play yet. It still needs to be picked up, and Kraken's got to make the long route to make sure, again, that it's really cleared. But we do see Rage, though, have eyes on it.
Yes, Rage monitoring this region. Kraken is going to be the last one alive. Just as I was going to say that the African teams apparently do not like using snipers. And just like that, we see Kraken bringing his DL. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. I'm sorry, he's going to be again versus 4 after this misclick. Again, that's why I'm a caster, not a player. But there it is.
YouTube,
Kraken. I'm just terrible if I have to play. But Kraken bringing the AWP style, it did not work for them. So the long shots, and as you said, Connie, the burst damage coming from shotguns, they're not yet explored by the African meta, apparently.
And you'd think that would be the correct decision now to take in terms of team adjustment, because nothing's been working. And we are on pretty much map point. 6-1. It's a dangerous scoreline to scale back into. But we still have hope for Ace. That's only, again, down to the set plays which Rage Gaming have been executing. The first bloods have always been optimized to a high level, and that was crucial there from Zaya and Hustle. It changes the playbook now. This is a different dynamic, a 5v3, and as well as that, plenty of room now to commit to the objective.
Yes, and it is very curious to see the Matrix repeating the standard of play of Rage. Also choosing the A and also planting the bomb quickly, not waiting for anything to happen, and totally having and taking in their hands the action chance here, the initiative coming to their side. They already dominated a little bit more of the kill feed. We see Lion trying to respond. He's using a growl. He's gonna come for this aggression. Easy one on the backs of Switch. Him and Ning hopes to be the last one alive, and Rage, just as we see them turning back on track to finalize the map. And Lion, there it is, bringing the last bullets, but they're not going to be able to defuse it. Oh my god, they didn't have time, so they traded well, but that's not enough on Codmobile, Connie.
That is just playing the clock textbook at Search and Destroy.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful round. Now, if you're executing that and carrying confidence, Matrix, beautiful play. Let's expand more into what other sites can be used, because the response from Rage this time is just even more utility onto A. That's 4 nades crossing the map and 1 re-clearing out the external lane of B. But really, you want to make sure, again, you're sliding in as a team and taking these fights with a numerical advantage, which Rage have done again so well. This is textbook. But again, we always see most of the trades on Tractor tend to end up resulting in control of this little courtyard here. In a 2v3, look at the numbers. The spread in the middle of the map and the control will be to Rage, but a deep pinch might be a good effect, and Kraken's only way of equalizing the trades.
Yes, we see Demo now looking at the core of the map, as you said, Kraken trying to find someone, and Lion's gonna be the last one. So when it comes to the trades, when it comes to fighting in a very straightforward way, Rage did a better job. And just like that, Matrix were defeated again. We're gonna be hopping into a 2 new on maps. Nice work by Rage, understanding the logic of the map, and I would say Connie playing very well, very consistently on both sides, both halves over here to dominate Matrix. And I don't know, potentially closing and wrapping this series with a win on Control. Let's see how they're gonna do this one. But I have to praise the clutchers, and Lion was one of them, surely.
Yeah, Kraken too had some good moments, but even against the odds, it was still going to be a very convincing win for Rage. And really the sort of executes that we were seeing, mainly from the African Search and Destroy we saw there, it was very much A. A site seems to be a second home for these players. And the 1B take we did see, it was a bit more of, let's say, a team rush rather than it was throwing utility and hoping for the first bloods to come into the effect they did. And in terms of numerics, again, Nemo, Lion, double-digit kills across the board. And that really is a condition, especially when you're looking into numerical advantages in Search and Destroy, pretty much eliminating 2 to 3 players around there, Igor.
Oh yeah, these guys totally dominating the kill feed, dominating the damage side of things, and as you said, the B was kind of a fake B that helped a rage into the trade again, so it was not an objective itself. Very interesting choices and actions here on both sides as we move back to our cameras, because you guys wanted to see us anyways, I know that, so there it is, LaneX and ConnieCasts. Make sure to follow us on socials, right? So right now, just click on Igor, LaneX and ConnieCasts on Twitter. And Connie, do you have an Instagram profile? I have not asked you to this.
Yeah, it's Connor Albury, which will be hard to spell in any other language.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll send it to you later. Don't worry about that. Instagram's my like second thought after Twitter in terms of what I actually use on a day-to-day basis.
I'm gonna be steering my folks to your Twitter profile, if you don't mind. So
generous,
ConnieCasts, my
please.
friends, you see, as you see, if you guys like this Lord voice, the posture of ConnieCasts, always analyzing and bringing us the best insights inside of the games, just make sure to follow him on socials. And Connie, very nice to see, as you said, like some elements that totally take the African meta or the African style, you know, out of the usual routes, as we know, because they do not use a lot of shotguns. They are not very, I would say, advanced snipers so far, and the grenades, they did not have an impact, especially on Search and Destroy so far.
Yeah, and really that's where you would look towards the best regions in the world and develop it. So I feel like Africa's in a spot where we're seeing lots of raw talent on the assault rifles. Will it match the best in the world yet? I don't know. That's a scaling process that which needs to be developed a bit more often. And really in an installation tournament like this one, you would have the room now to just sort of create heavy counters for all the opposing teams. And even the iPad teams, for example, that are in this tournament, which again is just another condition to really explore in terms of what opportunities do we have in terms of team play, right? Now, the final real departing point, which makes it special, is that when we do see the use of shotguns, and you mentioned as well, sniper rifles aren't really, you know, the first selection, if you will, so far in this tournament. The ability to develop that role is going to be important. The first player to get over the line will really scale a team into potentially a top 3, top 2 status very quickly because of just how important that gun is. Not just respawn, but search and destroy as well. It just has to be, again, a learning process and lots of practice in the VOD room and in the bot lobby.
Yes, they're gonna have to keep developing that. As I said, it's an escalating process that is gonna take time. So we have to remember that a lot of these players, of course, are using the iPad as a way to, you know, be more consistent inside of the game. So that's pretty cool to see how they're gonna be exploring these options. And I'm excited to see how the African scene is gonna keep evolving from now on, since this is a very new attempt of them to bring a competitive championship to this level with broadcast. I would dare to say that the world's beginning to watch the Africans from this moment on, so I'm very excited to see how they're gonna evolve from now on. And yes, Connie, let's see how they're gonna play this Hackney Yard control mode. It's gonna be crazy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're gonna go to control, so it's gonna be kind of new. Actually, sorry, it's an Arsenal control. I'm already thinking about Hackney Yard. I want to see Hackney back on track, but we still have a control on Arsenal. Give me your thoughts on that.
Only if Matrix can win a map, we'll see Hackney Yard, and finally just stop, you know, crying about it, Igor. This is gonna be one of the more exciting looks, because again, that's something exciting, and that's really just sort of alluding to the new meta change, because we haven't really seen it yet in Codmobile, have we? A map that like this come into effect, and it was originally designed for 5v5. To note, it means one thing for sure: if the pacing is identical to regular Call of Duty, then you can expect, again, a map similar to Summit in terms of just how quick it can be and just what can be exhausted early on. But I really think when we're looking into the control, we steer towards not just specialist usage, but routing on the map as well. I mean, it's so often or not in other regions that we see raid control being played over and over and over again that we do sort of limit our range of motion. But Arsenal, again, it's a great flavor to have, Igor.
It's going to be very interesting because it's a very, very big map. So, you know, for a control mode, it's going to demand a lot of rotations, a lot of movement on both sides. As we know, guys, let's just hop into this Arsenal. This is a new rotation being already exploited by the African region. This is me, Igor, LaneX, and Connie Cast. So you're gonna hold my hand, you're gonna hold Connie's hands, and let's, dive into this jungle with these unleashed beasts, now bringing their best into the African Mobile Championship. We see some fights happening over the A. It's gonna be interesting to see how Rage is gonna defend this one, because it's gonna be looking kind of easier for them, Connie. I don't know if you agree. It's a kind of a standard setup line on the middle of the map, the B and the A, almost making the defensive side the easier side, but that's also a very tricky, statement to make in a game like this. So let's see how Matrix is gonna respond to this.
It's been very much the trade going Rage's way. It was a double nade kill off spawn, and really not the best routing from Matrix to start things off with here. They weren't really looking for mid control, they were rather looking to try and isolate the other external lane and then push through onto site. But that's where the setup of Rage is just so punishing. They've got two watching to cross straight onto B. They've won the fight in mid now to gain full control of the route to window, and it just creates a complete collapse in terms of exhausting the choke points and taking the necessary routes. A long route wouldn't even be a possibility right now for Matrix. Even though utility is to spare, you can just play cover and take head fights at a wonderful head glitch if you are in Rage's camp.
Yeah, as you said it right. It looks very comfortable for Rage so far to keep dominating the positions they already have. They do not need to be bolder than they are playing now against Matrix, who are apparently in trouble. Losing with a margin of 5 kills against Rage, as we see 20 versus 14, and the B was not dominated, so it's beginning to look kind of late for Matrix to be converting B. They should have already done this play to be very fair, but they're gonna be, of course, trying to do their best, but not anymore on round number 1, as we see the 1-0 on the scoreboard. So Rage beginning this work with quality, and I would say with a nice job, without having to push and to do like a fantastic effort, Connie.
Oh, I know. Again, this new break-off is going to only reward that idea. Their set play is straight towards B, and the respected hit from Matrix is the complete opposite site. They're throwing these up high, but they don't understand the pressure read and why Rage now put themselves in such a great position. The smokes on site as well just completely alleviate view. They can't take the necessary fights unless they want to get mixy, get close quarters. And this setup as well, there's 4 stacked on A and 1 watching the rotation onto spawn. This really can be punishing because it's forcing all the players from Matrix to the north side of the map. They can't touch time unless they have the respawners available, and that's where we can see an aggression out of the hill and a potential trap. That's where it really puts them in a chokehold.
It's crazy because Rage dominated the A, they did whatever they wanted, and now with the Vortex, they're gonna be so strong to rotate to the B. We see that they are moving to there, but again, Matrix coming back on track and setting themselves up to respond. So we see that they finally acquire or regain positioning and dominate the B to maybe buy some time against Rage, who are pressuring, who are bringing their rage into the game, and they want to rob this one for 3-0 on maps. But I don't know if Matrix is gonna be easier to take down on control. I have to remember, Connie, to you and to all of our friends, that yesterday Rage, they fell precisely on control mode against the other line of Ace. So Ace Pharaoh yesterday began the reverse sweep on control raid. Now, apparently, this other line of Ace, the Matrix, are beginning to, feel comfy to respond gradually.
In terms of it all as well, the kills necessarily found on this point for Ace has allowed them now to start cycling through some ultimates. It puts a bit more pressure on the kill front and the weapon selection, making it a very difficult take. And the respawners will always warrant lots of nades onto this point, making sure, again, that Matrix can only really take cover necessarily where they can. All 5 players are left alive, still an 8-life gap, but they purchased 2 minutes right at the start from that tick. It was an aggressive take, and it seems to be the set play and the set strategy from Rage, again, is to get as much time as possible, buy 2 minutes to try and take B. But again, this is a dangerous setup. Crossfires from this section of the map can be won easily from the defending side. And it's only really for a mid-route. Maybe you can exploit an option to start attacking this.
Yes, and Ace Matrix apparently repeating whatever Rage did on the first round. going for A and then going for B. Very interesting repetition as we see now Chile with the equalizer to try to be a holder here. He was a human tower, as I like to say, totally protecting the hill. Nice work on his side. Kraken has the claw. Let's see what that's gonna mean for them, because Rage, they are not able to play anymore in this round. They're totally taken down, totally beaten to the ground. Connie, I don't know if they're gonna be doing anything else, to be fair.
Yeah, only an Annihilator as well, which I think Nemo might want to save for the next round rather than invest it here. There's 10 life lead and 8 seconds left. Of course, maybe want to pump the brakes and get the gas on board, but now it will be down to only 5 left alive and a lot of weight on Nemo's shoulders to get this setup employed. But a great pinch through Kraken. That's a wonderful setup and a wonderful play. It completely wipes them off of time, and it just worked. It's a play that worked, and it made it so punishing and just brought it into a nice even field.
Fantastic response by Matrix, as we could also see and tell. The operators' discipline by Rage, not using whatever they had in the bag and waiting for the best moment. I love to see that. They surely talked about it, Connie. They said, let's not use. Either if it's just one of them, doesn't matter. Let's not use anything. Because next round's going to be our chance again to be dominating the scoreboard. We see 1-1 on rounds. Very even control mode so far in Arsenal. By Rage against Matrix, as we see both sides rotating to A again. So A is gonna be the priority, I would say, here over here on this control. Connie apparently firstly by teams, but you know, Matrix did not manage to win the gunfight. So again, you need to win the gunfights. They are necessary for sure, always.
That drop down from Vent is always dangerous. You might win the first fight, but you will lose a second on the follow-up, and that is really a free kill for Matrix and an easy time now to start setting up for A. Now, this is where the routes are important. Look towards B. Look towards Nemo's and Marshall. They want to get window control as fast as possible because they don't have all the information just yet, Igor. They still got to look for all the lurking players and maybe the spawns as to how they can control this next wave of fights, because yes, it's just a lot more disciplined from Matrix in this third round. They're playing wonderful positions and really ratting out the corners.
Yes, and reversing this one against Rage with quality, you know, making our eyes go in humidity. I would say almost some fans of these teams are crying to see how Matrix are reversing this one. As you said, we see a very interesting positioning by Nimhos, trying to be the gator, trying to be closer to the spawn by Matrix and kill them right after they're, you know, back on lives here. But we see Rage dominating the kill feed. Nice work by Nimhos and Demon already also rotating. And this time, Rage, they were the ones to get back into very nice superiority. Their edge is way more clear now, as we see almost 10 lives. I would say 9 lives against Matrix, Connie.
16-7 and only a third of a tick, but that's a crucial fight to win if you're Kraken. You get a score streak available, and you get enough time here to get 2 players to fight for some B control. Although it will be spent, it will be totally a wasted investment. All the players are still alive on Rage, and now they can start scaling into a trap. But above all of that, there was no real time to get anything done. The 15-5 was completely cancelled out by that clock just ticking down.
Oh yeah, the clock is being an additional enemy to both sides here, as the African teams are hopping into the competitive international scene with African Mobile Championship. Guys, thanks for being with us. Of course, hit the like button and share the stream. We are live on African Mobile Championship YouTube channel and also on my channel, Igor LaneX, here with Connie Casts for this lower bracket round number 1. We see a claw in the hands of Kraken. Nice work. He's moving, nicely taken down by Nimhos. And again, now Rage being the attacking side, they're gonna have to make this priority on A. Aren't they gonna, you know, repeat this call, Connie, apparently, but dominating the core of the map and trying to set a line against Matrix and, you know, not allowing the Matrix players to roll so easily.
Yeah, well, the way Matrix had mid-control there was almost wasted. It was an easy collapse there for Rage to regain control and start progressing time on A. They got a third of a tick already and doubling up on B as well. No one's really dealt yet to Bailey's. And they're only really throwing nades and have no idea under pressure. That's why now the stack of the re-break for Matrix is on to B, because they see the strategy here again. It's the same sort of ploy. 2 minutes on the clock, a converted B, but they want to play for more time because they learned from the last one that they know how hard it is for B to be taken. That's why the play is being slowed down drastically. Look at the patience from Marshall, waiting for players to regroup. They're going to repinch spawn, take only one fight because Hustle's been tasked to watch back the job, and a player pinching as well has been taken out completely. But the spawners are still so close, it can be easy enough to a degree for Matrix to hold off this force.
Yeah, fantastic observation by you, Connie. As we could see that Rage, they had to pace down. They had to find their path to B. It's always the most complicated flag or heal here on Arsenal Control. And Matrix, as we are watching them, they are moving back on track. They're trying to fight more and get more eliminations. They're getting closer to the numbers on the side of Rage. And Rage, they're going to have to reorganize themselves, because getting inside a hill just like that, putting one man ahead, like a line to be eliminated, is always a risky strategy. But let's see how they're gonna play this one out. Nemo's trying to come, taken down, and the kill feed, it's totally balanced. It's totally hybrid. We see Marshall hopping in, taken down by Switch, who brought a nice pair of eliminations.
They have a third of a tick and a 4-life advantage. Why aren't Rage investing in the specialists? They can, off this new wave of kills, really start to exploit the weapon advantage they have. Because nobody from Matrix has even got the kills necessary to start cycling. So now the pathing is also going to be a huge factor. They've got the control of mid. They've got a distraction, and Bailey's just taking the front fight. Now this is where you start to stack numbers. Although, yes, they have to watch out for the respawners when these kills are found in the back. But they have the weapons to do it, Igor.
It's curious, right? I don't know why they're saving. What they're saving these operators for. As we see Marshall still with the claw. Now finally, Nimho's bringing the Annihilator. Connie asked, so the players, they attended to your claim. They brought the special abilities. They listened to your casting. So fantastic work by Rage. But again, Matrix totally rebuffing that. Their way to counter the operators from Rage is just fantastic. We see that the game is again open, and just like that, Matrix reopens the map for a 2-2, and Rage, they are, you know, man, tasting again what they have tasted yesterday. They're seeing an enemy on control mode reversing right on their face, and that's just crazy to watch.
And again, they had enough ticks, though, to get that defensive side here to kill round number 5. And already they're really not wasting time in terms of sprinting to necessary spots. Nades will fly higher over B this time. That's going to be the Matrix set play. And really, there's nothing to really pay attention to in mid, because it's not really their set idea. They want to instead play for a similar strategy in round 3. We mentioned it earlier. Rage had 2 players on time and only really started getting B when there was a heavy commitment towards A. It was a complete loop and a distraction from a larger picture of taking the ticks, taking the time, and winning the map.
Yes, the distraction play a key role here on this map number 3, guys, in this best of 5 map series. As we see, let me check on Chile using the ducts in a very smart way. We know that Chile is gonna be the only one. He's gonna be kind of a I don't know, like more an advanced player when it comes to positioning, and Switch is also doing that, but we see a potentially dangerous flank by Rage. They were taken down by Hustle. What a defensive work by him. And A is gonna be converted, apparently, because Matrix Stronghold is very strong in the core of the map, Connie.
This is wonderful. And the way they're taking the fights was really good from the external lanes. And it's 2 ticks, which I think is the most we've really seen out of Matrix thus far in Arsenal. And in terms of the routing, it's lots of discipline here as well from Arsenal. But no, that's a kill you don't want to get. That's a kill down that really favors Rage's setup, because now they can just start setting up crossfires from the front. It's easy now for Marshall to chain a couple kills and Demon to add to the tally. And the only player that's really aggressing through was going to be Chile. But no, again, this now is a punishing setup. They can start employing it. Look at the positions now from Demon and from Marshall. They're going to set up a crossfire. They're going to try and funnel players through this choke point. And it's going to be a map win. It's going to be a 3-0. And it's going to be convincing in the lower bracket. And although Rage shouldn't be here by regard, they've dealt handedly Matrix, the loss, and the ejection from the tournament.
Yes, victory on the side of Rage. What a crazy line. As Connie said, as you said, man, they totally move onwards. They set a crossfire against Matrix. Just, you know, turning any kind of potential retake by Matrix just impossible. We see the numbers Marshall, Bayliss, and Nimhos, nice work. These guys totally dominated the game, especially Marshall, right? I think he was the most regular and more consistent player on the side of Rage so far in this series. So 3-0, Rage improving their point and defeating one of the ace lines over here. Final numbers, Connie, and 25 kills on the side of Marshall. What a player. I think this guy is stepping up.
Yeah, 25 kills and pretty much no specialists were used until round 4. So that pretty much there was domination and control to a T. The kills were fairly shared though alongside Bailey's, but when you look at positioning in that game state, Bailey's was pretty much routing, playing an island for the majority. So these were the important necessary kills to get on the rebreak if we were to see Matrix try and take 2 ticks on 2 different sites. The minor success we did see was only in the round 5. It was far too late. It was far too gone. The way it was set up from Rage, they were capping B. Although it was easy enough to hold on to A, that's sort of how Arsenal crumbles sometimes, right?
Yeah, Arsenal can be tricky, right? We have just seen that Rage, they began like feeling whatever pressure Matrix were able to build, but then suddenly in the end, Rage, I think they found their ways again, and again they totally adjusted their fire lines, and that brought them to win against Ace Matrix. So I was very happy to see how Rage finally dominated a full map and a full series, to be fair, here from the beginning to the end. And they're gonna be moving ahead into competition. Let's just take a look at the brackets right now. Connie, we know that Rage, they're gonna be facing the winner from Commission versus Originals, and I am quite sure that this game is already done, but we don't have the updated pick here, but we're gonna update you guys on socials. So I'm gonna be heading back to our cameras to say that I was very excited to be here casting this game along with my friend Connie Casts. And Connie, thanks for everything, man. I wanna know from you, what did you most love about the African game style? Did you like to cast this one?
It was interesting because it definitely had inspiration. I could see lots of South American and European elements in there in terms of use of the ARs. It was flashy, it was aggressive. The use of the specialists was a lot more prevalent in the hardpoint than it was the control. And the Search and Destroy is very rifle heavy. We're only really seeing 4 ARs pulled out at a time, which definitely is a new look. The Switchblades are only really maximized again if we have a standoff, right? And the standoff was always going to be set from the get-go. Both teams are committed towards one site, heavy nade usage, playing for trades and playing for control from the get-go. So it does sort of twinkle elements of what to expect in terms of Africa and Call of Duty to be very, very flashy, very aggressive, and quite beautiful.
It's beautiful, right? It reminds us of the beginnings of Codem, as we know, very aggressive game style, not a lot of patience. I like this. I love to see some aggressive plays as we have seen today. Let's see if they're gonna be repeating themselves over the next days, because we're gonna have a full agenda, guys, during this week and also on the next week. So make sure to follow us on socials. Okay, don't forget to do this right after you close the stream with us. Igor LaneX and Connie Casts on Twitter. Follow us. Do this now, because we're gonna be live back in some days. Connie, thanks, man. Was a pleasure. I learned a lot. I hope you had fun as well, as long as I had. And see you next time.